my ex-husband is a cop. Ex-husband. I was a police wife at one point. Ugh. I know, but that means I heard all the time about what excessive use of force is. Anyone who has any idea about policing knows 6v1 is embarrassing for one. 6 grown-ass men kneeling on that man, punching that man, and then 10 shots? 10. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10. I saw that this morning, first thing when I woke up. I've made videos, I've put them in drafts. I just don't know what to say because it was unlawful use of force prior to the 10, prior to, 6 grown people for one person for doing nothing wrong, for not doing anything wrong. And what's really weird to me is that the side that's saying that he had a pew-pew, isn't that your whole thing? Isn't that your whole, like, thing? Isn't that what you guys love? I think that what's always been hardest for me to grasp from a logical standpoint, and I know they're not fucking logical. I grew up around truck drivers, welders, iron workers, laborers, hard workers, but also like a lot of people who lived in the bush in the country, and they always hated government. And it's just hard for me sometimes to wrap my brain around how they've convinced these people that, in my mind, are anti-establishment. That's why they want pew-pews. That's why at one point, right? And now it's just so not... I don't know, I've made so many videos, I've tried to find the words, I've tried to say the right thing, but at this point, it's just... She had a funny laugh. She wasn't qualified for the job. The most qualified person. I couldn't vote in that election, I'm not from there, but everyone around the world will be paying for the consequences of that election. I mean, everyone around the world always does. But I remember making content about the election and people telling me I wasn't from that country. Why do I care? Why do I care? Stop talking about it. And it's because everything that happens there affects everywhere else. Everyone told me I was fear-mongering. I remember getting so many comments about fear-mongering, overreacting, make it too big of a deal. You're just this, you're just that. And I just sit back and I'm like, I don't know. I had a powerlifting coach when Roe v. was overturned. And I got really upset about it, and he messaged me, and he was like, why do you care? It's in the States. And I remember being like, yeah, like, because it affects everything. It affects everyone. He was a person of color. We got into it. I fired him that day. Because when we got into it, one of the things I said something about, because of his background, I mentioned something about, Black Lives Matter and, that happened in the States. And then he went into how it was a conspiracy and I don't know. I don't fucking know. All I know is that I had checked out of politics after he was elected the first time because I used to laugh when, I remember looking on, I remember where I was sitting. I remember the job I was working. When I was looking at odds, $20 you could bet if he would win that election, and he would have won millions. That's how good the odds were. And I remember looking at it and laughing and thinking that was so crazy. That was so ridiculous. I couldn't even be bothered to spend the $20. Yeah. And then he won. And I checked out. I checked out because I knew it was coming and I couldn't do anything about it. And I think back, I checked back in when Roe v. Wade was overturned to American politics, at least, because I knew things were shifting when that happened. I grew up I was in Catholic school my whole life, and we used to watch documentaries about how amazing Roe v. Wade was and what that meant for women and what that meant for healthcare, and we used to watch documentaries on it. Even growing up in that background, what's happening now seemed unimaginable. Even growing up like with church and religion and just watching this devolve So many people who follow me are from the States, and there's new people here from Canada, but like for so long, because I was trying so hard, because I could see how bad it was going to be the second time around. And it puts me at a loss for words. I've used all my words. Tomorrow will be different, but for years, I've tried my absolute fucking best to try and avoid this. I have been harassed endlessly online by, incels, and called every name under the sun in an attempt to make a dent, in an attempt to just try and avoid, an attempt to, yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying. I'm still, trying to educate. I'm still trying to. And it's been going on for Black and brown people for even longer. And I don't know. I've been watching Narcos, and it's just been a weird juxtaposition to like watch how they're talking about the American people in there, and like all the ways that they're stepping into like other people's government to try and prevent certain things from happening. And then just like watching this happen at the same time. And it's just weird to go between the two. I try and talk about systems and how things function, and, women, and trying to help women understand that they deserve better. And it just feels like forever. It's just like unnecessary violence, unnecessary suffering, unnecessary things happening because some weak and fragile egos and power hungry individuals